तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादे पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Just today morning, someone had shared me a very beautiful quote by one of our very senior devotees in ISKCON. He was mentioning in this quote, very eye-opening quote. So he was saying that how most often 99.9% we are all in material consciousness. I mean, and material consciousness means the consciousness of illusion. We really don't know who we are. We are not awakened to the real life actually. Once a while when we come to satsangs like this or read a spiritual book like Bhagavad Gita, for those fraction of moment some new reality opens up for us. But the problem with all of us is we are so conditioned to material life. Even after attending satsangs, even after reading these books, we become aware for those few moments. Again we go back to that normal way of thinking, normal way of doing. That's where the actual challenge is. The challenge is to sustain spiritual consciousness. See, anything in life, until you sustain it for a long period of time, results are not going to come. Similarly, in spiritual life also, if you have to actually experience the real bliss of spiritual life and experience the real connection with God, sustained consciousness in connection with Krishna is important. So I felt it's not only for you all, it's for me also. I mean, it's so important that we try to meditate on this. I felt it was really powerful that we try to revolve our lives in such a way that we don't keep slipping back. In our childhood, we all have played snake ladder game, na? Yeah. So sometimes this is what happens in our life. Not sometimes, always. When we come to a satsang like this, we go on top in terms of our consciousness. And again, when we go out in this material world, meeting so many people, doing so many things, again we just slip. The net result is we are in the same place. We go, we come back, we go, we come back. So it's very important that, we try to sustain this consciousness and try to stay away from influences that actually pull us down in this world. And this world is filled with such influences. As Kaka progresses, the energy and the vibrations are just about dragging us to material consciousness. So it's a big challenge to stay Krishna conscious, to stay on the path of spirituality in this age of Kali Yuga. Is an age of mass distractions. This is an age, there are weapons of mass destruction also. But more dangerous than that, there are weapons of mass distractions. Unlimited distractions to divert us from the actual path. So the hope for all of us is, the satsangs here, the wisdom of Gita, being in touch with this constantly is actually what is going to help all of us. So having said that, we'll discuss from the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, which we have been discussing, some part of it. So this is verse number 4. We have discussed 1, 2, 3. So this is verse number 4. Arjuna uvacha katam bhishmam aham sanke dronam cha madhusudana ishubi pratiyotsyami pujara harisudana. So this is Arjuna saying. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counteract with arrows in battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? So basically, the first chapter we have seen, Arjuna gives various reasons why he doesn't want to fight. And then Krishna encourages him in the start of the second chapter. Krishna tells him, all these reasons of yours is just excuses. You're running away from your actual life. You don't want to face your problems. It's not an act of compassion, but it is an act of cowardice. So like this Krishna tells Arjuna. So now here Arjuna is telling Lord Krishna, my dear Lord Krishna, how can I kill people like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Right? So we discussed this topic of respect in detail. Right? 2 sessions we had discussed the topic of respect. So how Arjuna is ready to forgive these people just because they are senior in age. He's saying, how can I do this? Because the culture that Arjuna was coming from, he wouldn't even back answer seniors. What to speak of killing them? What to speak of fighting with them? So Arjuna tells Krishna, my dear Krishna, this is beyond me, I just can't do this. They are worthy of my worship. Here Arjuna uses the word, he addresses Krishna as Arisudana. So Ari means enemies. So this is one of the name of Krishna. Arisudana means one who is the killer of enemies. Like we know, Lord Krishna killed many demons. So Arjuna is trying to indirectly tell Krishna, my dear Krishna, you killed demons, but you are telling me to kill my own grandfather. Right? Krishna didn't kill his own grandfather. Krishna's grandfather's name is Ugrasen. Krishna didn't kill Ugrasen. Krishna didn't kill his guru Sandipani Muni. So Arjuna is indirectly trying to tell Krishna, my dear Krishna, you didn't do it. Why you are making me do it? And Arjuna is also trying to tell Krishna that you insist that these people should be killed. Why don't you only go and kill? Why are you involving me? Isn't it? So this is the thought process of Arjuna. So first thing we need to understand that Lord Krishna, he's speaking Bhagavad Gita here, he's telling Arjuna, go and kill your relatives. Lord Krishna also personally did it. You all know one of the asuras is Narakasur. You know Narakasur?
The ruler of Narak?
No.
Sounds like that.
Yeah. Narakasur was actually Lord Krishna's son.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So one of the avatars of Lord Vishnu is Varahadev. If you all have heard of Varahadev, he comes in a boar form, in the form of a boar. So when Varahadev comes in touch with Earth, Mother Earth, through their combination, Narakasur is born. So the actual name of Narakasur is Bhaumasur. Bhauma means a Bhumi. So he was actually the son of the Lord, son of Mother Earth. But because he came in touch with demons, because he associated with demons, he also became like that. You see, we are all, coming back to the same point what I started from, we are all products of association. Simple. Whom we associate with, we are going to become like that. In Ramayana, now, tomorrow is Dashara, the day Lord Ram killed Ravana. Right? So in the Ramayana, you have the example of 2 brothers, Vali and Sugriv. You have heard the story? Vali and Sugriv, they were born at the same time. But Vali turned to be a demon whom Lord Ram had to kill. Sugriv turned to be a devotee of the Lord. What is the difference? Vali started to associate with demons. So therefore, even though he was a son of Indra, divine origin, but he got carried away. Sugriva, he associated with Hanumanji. He made Hanumanji's minister, his associate, and Sugriv goes on to be a devotee. So the point is, we are all products of association. And because Lord Krishna's son Narakasur associated with demons, he became demonic. And Lord Krishna personally killed him. Who kills Narakasur? Lord Krishna only kills. Lord Krishna goes on Garuda along with his wife Satyabhama and he kills Narakasur. So Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna here, my dear Arjuna, you kill your relatives. Why? Because they are now on the demonic side. Lord Krishna personally did it. Very often we preach something, but we are not able to follow it. Ideal preaching means what you preach, you follow. As I say in English now, walk your talk. What you speak, you try to follow. This is what we should be doing. So Lord Krishna personally killed his own relatives when they were on the wrong side. This is the first argument to Arjuna's argument that Arjuna put, counter argument. So Arjuna's first argument was, my dear Krishna, where did you kill your relatives? But Lord Krishna also killed. The second argument that Arjuna gave is, my dear Krishna, why don't you only go and kill? Why are you telling me to do? But Lord Krishna, he doesn't do our work. We are supposed to do our work. Krishna will just facilitate. So spiritual life is not about, passing the buck to Krishna, telling Krishna, you do everything and you become very lazy. That's not spiritual life. Spiritual life is about you get inspiration from Krishna, get inspiration from the Lord, but you have to do your work. You have to do your work. Arjuna is trying to tell Krishna, why don't you only go and kill them if it is your desire? Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna, I will not kill. You have to fight. I will be there on your chariot, I will assist you, but you will have to do it. When Lord Krishna was born in this world, Janmashtami, just before Janmashtami, because there were so many demons on this earth, Kamsa and so many people, so all the demigods, they go to Lord Vishnu and appeal to Lord Vishnu, you please advent in this world to kill all these demons and help all of us. Lord Vishnu tells, I will definitely come as Krishna, but all of you all also have to come to assist me. Lord doesn't tell them, I will go and kill the demons, you all go and relax out in your heavenly planet. They also have to come. So the Bhagavad Gita, see how long it will take for Lord Krishna to end the Kurukshetra war? Seconds. Does Krishna need Arjuna? He doesn't need. His Sudarshan is enough to finish the whole thing. So Lord Krishna is there on the chariot of Arjuna, but Lord Krishna doesn't fight. He tells Arjuna, you fight. So spiritual life, when we surrender to God, He is not going to make a life easy. Spiritual life is not for an easy life. It's about doing the right thing. And the Lord will give us strength to do the right thing. But the ultimate fight, we'll have to do. We'll have to fight it out. So, very soon is this Kartik month that comes. We call this Damodar month. So there is a very beautiful Leela of Lord Krishna that happens. When Lord Krishna was a small child, Lord Krishna would steal butter in different people's house. Right? So this is the way he would win devotees' hearts. So one time Lord Krishna stole butter in his own house. So generally when Lord Krishna would steal butter, all the gopis would come and tell Yashoda, your son has stole butter in our house. So Yashoda would go to scold Krishna, but Krishna would put such an innocent face, she wouldn't be able to do anything. But Krishna stole butter in his own house. Does anyone steal in their own house? Krishna did it. Because Krishna was thinking, just eating like that is no fun. Right? If you steal and eat, there is fun in it. So Krishna stole butter in his own house. And Yashoda wanted to punish Krishna. So how does she punish? Anyone knows? She ties Krishna around a grinding mortar. So the Bhagavatam explains how much ever rope she got. They had like lakhs of cows. How much ever rope she got, it was 2 finger short. Not 1, not 3. Exactly 2 finger short. How much ever rope she got, it was 2 finger short. She was not able to understand what this 2 finger means. So our acharyas explain what this 2 finger means, One is God's mercy. Now Yashoda is trying to tie Krishna, that means she's trying to tie God, yeah, achieve God. So if you want to achieve God, first thing that you need is God's mercy. Only when He sanctions, you can do it. Second is your own effort. Both the things are needed. For any endeavor to be successful, two things are needed. What are the two things? Your effort and God's grace. You may put your best effort, but if His grace is not there, it's not going to happen. So many people get very dejected. I put my 100% best. Why there is no result? Because He doesn't want it. That's it. Ultimately, we have to surrender to His plan. We are dependent on His grace. So these two things, these two fingers represent. One is our effort. We put our 200% effort. But beyond that also we need to understand, only when He sanctions, it will happen. So spiritual life is about both these aspects. It's not about either one. One end of the spectrum is people feel, my work is enough. I don't need God in my life. I don't need God's grace. Such people don't become successful either. And you have the other extreme of people who say, I will not work, everything is dependent on God. That also is not the right formula. You work, but then you leave the results to God. So here, Arjuna is trying to tell Krishna, my dear Krishna, why don't you fight? But Krishna is trying to tell Arjuna, it is your fight, you have to fight. I will be there to assist you, but ultimately you will have to do it. Right? So we discussed this topic of respect in detail. We will not get into that. We'll see the next shloka. Text 5. Guruna hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum beksham apiha loke hatvartha kamam sto guruni haiva bunjiya bhogan rudira pradigdhan. Please hear this. It would be better, this is Arjuna's conviction, it would be better to live in this world by begging rather than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superiors. If they are killed, everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. So Arjuna, he's such a cultured person, such a refined and a sensitive person. Arjuna is telling Krishna, my dear Krishna, better to live the life of a beggar rather than to hurt so many people, exploit so many people and live a royal life. What is the use of such royalty? This is a very important principle. Very important principle. There is no harm in being successful, being ambitious. Absolutely no harm. But being ambitious at the cost of others is definitely a big problem. It's definitely a big problem. For you to become successful, you have to step on so many people, you have to hurt so many people. What is the point of having such a success? So the formula in life should be, this should be actually our, people go to God to ask so many things. Our acharyas, they pray to Krishna, my dear Krishna, let me live a life in such a way that I don't hurt others. I don't hurt others with my words, with my actions. Living a life like this is an ideal life. This is what will actually satisfy the heart. So here Arjuna is using the word Rudira Pradigdhan. Rudira Pradigdhan means tainted with blood. We know history. We have people like Aurangzeb and all these guys, to achieve that throne, what not they did. They will go and kill their own father, kill their own brother. What not people do for a post and position. Right? Politics is all about that. Right? At the opportune moment, you just pull down a person and then you climb on top. Right? But spiritual life, especially when we come to spiritual life, one of the very important quality is simplicity. Simplicity in Sanskrit means saralata. That means you are not very duplicitous. It's not that you say something, you mean something. A devotee means he is very, very simple and very straightforward. So tomorrow is the day of Dashara. Tomorrow is the day where Lord Ram kills Ravana. If you study the life of Lord Ram and you study the life of Lord of Ravana, completely opposite mindsets. Aims, purpose of life, lifestyle, the way they wanted to live life, completely different. Ravana's full life was only about making other people cry. You know what the word Ravan means? Ravan literally means one who makes others cry. This is what this guy did for his whole life. This is what he did. If you study the life of Ravan, he tortured so many people. He killed, abused so many people. Every beautiful girl you just pick up and take, not even asking permission from anyone, just exploit anything and everyone. Because his principle in life was anything that is best is mine. That was his principle. Lanka, that golden Lanka, was not even Ravana's Lanka. Ravana's stepbrother Kuvera, he had made that golden Lanka. This fellow threw his stepbrother out and stepped in. Took over. Pushpak Viman was for someone else, he stole it. Mandodari, all these wives of Ravan was someone else, he just kidnapped. And because he hurt so many people, time and again, time and again, time and again, all these people in their heart of heart were cursing him. In the heart of heart. Because when you hurt someone, when you exploit someone, you may be very powerful and that person may be very weak, he may not be able to do something. But that person's ill wishes is very, very powerful. So in life, we only have two choices. There's only two ways to live life. We are either accumulating curses or we are accumulating blessings. What do we want to accumulate? Whether we want to accumulate curses, then go on, we just keep hurting people, just do anything for our own enjoyment. Just do anything and everything for your own enjoyment. If you keep doing this, then you're going to accumulate curses. And why was Ravan destroyed? Lord Ram killed Ravan. But Lord Ram is not the cause of Ravan's death. Ravan himself is the cause of his death. Lord Ram just came and delivered what he was supposed to get. He just delivered it, that's all. Ravan made his own fate. So we create our own fate and destiny by the choices that we make. So Ravan accumulated so many curses time and again. When all that mounted completely, he was killed by Lord Ram. And he died such a pity death basically. And you have the example of Lord Ram. What does Ravan means? One who makes others cry. Ram comes from the word Ramana. Ramana means pleasure. Ram's entire life was to give others happiness. How do you accumulate curses? When you think about your own enjoyment, selfishly, this is what you'll accumulate. Subconsciously, this is what you'll accumulate. To accumulate blessings, if someone has to bless you from their heart, the only way they will do it is when you serve them. Lord Ram, he is the Supreme Lord, but still he set such a beautiful example for all of us. Lord Ram is the Supreme Lord, he is like a father. So what the father does, the child can immediately follow. So Lord Ram's example is a great example for all of us to follow on. So Lord Ram basically spent his entire life serving others, selflessly, without expecting anything. He came to Kishkinda, he helped Sugriv get back his kingdom, his wife. He helped Vibhishan, he served Vibhishan, and in the forest, so many saints came and surrendered to him. Please help us. Lord Ram did all of that, and because he kept serving, completely selfless, he accumulated so many blessings in life. So we all have this choice to follow the example of Ravan or follow the example of Lord Ram. And history, Ramayana is a history, and we know that history repeats itself. So if we follow the example of Ravan, that's what is going to repeat the fate of Ravan. If we follow the life of Lord Ram, we will accumulate so many blessings and so many people will be still happy with us. So the tears of others literally drown us. When we enjoy at the cost of others, we create our own destruction. In houses, at the entry of the houses, people write Shubh Labh. You heard this? So what does Shubh Labh mean? Labh means profit, we all understand. What is Shubh Labh? So if there is Shubh Labh, there is Ashubh Labh also.
Absolutely.
Understanding? So that means there is good fortune and bad fortune. So there is no problem in having success. Labh, profit, everyone needs. Perfectly okay. But your profit, your success, is it auspicious or is it inauspicious? Are you sitting on this chair of success by hurting others at the cost of others, or are we sitting on this chair of success in an ethical way, in the best possible way? This is what the difference is. So in today's world, a lot of management things are taught, definitely that's great, but sustained success, anyone can reach success, but to sustain that success, character is a must. Without character, success cannot be sustained. It cannot be sustained. So Arjuna, imagine, Arjuna is like not a small time person. He's like a very powerful warrior, very successful, defeated Indra, defeated Shiva, very, very successful. But Arjuna's conviction, he's telling Lord Krishna, I don't want money, success, all this at the cost of hurting others. I am happy being a beggar. Better to be a honest, Prabhupada writes in Bhagavad Gita, in the second chapter only, Prabhupada writes, he says that it's better to be a honest street sweeper rather than to be a charlatan meditator. Prabhupada says it's better to be a honest and a sincere, even if this poverty is still okay. You'll be much more peaceful rather than to live a life completely hurting others and living at the cost of others. So here there's another very important principle. See, in life, just like Arjuna, he's even though he's a big king, very rich, very powerful, but in his heart of heart, Arjuna's mood is, he feels that, my dear Krishna, I'm just like a beggar. And ultimately, if we honestly accept, Arjuna is very honest and sincere about his life, we are all almost like a beggar. See, there is a lot of things that you can learn even from a beggar, a sincere beggar. Like, when you go to apply for visa, you may have all your documents in place. Mercy of that person who's taking the interview, isn't it? If his mood is not there, it's not going to happen, even if all your documents are in place, isn't it? So similarly, when we go to God, when we want to enter into the spiritual world, you may have all your documents in place. Right? Like when you go to a visa interview, you want to get into another country and you show all your documents, right? Whether you have all the qualifications. So now when you want to go back to the spiritual world, you may have all your documents in place. You may say that I've attended all the satsangs, I have done this, I have done that, I've done my sadhana, I've done my chanting. All that is good. But what is important is, are you humble? Because you may have all your documents in place, but if the Lord doesn't want you, He will not get you in. Understanding? Ultimately, to enter into the spiritual world, just like if you have gone to any holy place, like Ayodhya, Jagannath Puri, all these places, you can't, however rich you may be, whatever contacts you have, you may not be able to get darshan of the Lord. Only when He wills, it will happen. Similarly, when you are entering into the spiritual world, we are wanting to have Lord's darshan. Who will get it? Someone who is humble. Like a beggar, if a beggar has attitude, you have seen beggars with attitude. Beggars also have attitudes, right? So if a beggar comes and tells you, see, give me 50 rupees, otherwise get out. Will you give this beggar money? Beggar also, this fellow has attitude, you will not give him. But if a beggar comes and asks you money and you don't give him, again he comes after you. Please sir, please give me something. You don't look at him. He comes to you repeatedly again and again. What will happen? Your heart will melt. This person is so humble and I'm rejecting him so many times. Still he's coming to me again and again. Even someone who has a hard heart, he will also melt. You're getting the point? So similarly, when we go to Krishna, what mood do we go to him? Do we go to him with the mood that Krishna, I have done this, I have done that, now you have to give me mercy? That's not the right mood. The right mood is you go as a beggar. You keep going to him. Even though he keeps rejecting you, you keep going. And then finally Lord Krishna will give that mercy to us. So Arjuna, even though he is so powerful, so successful, Arjuna is showing us this quality of being humble and not getting carried away by all the success that we have. Right? Having things is not a problem. Right? Possessing things is not a problem. But the problem is when the things start to possess you. Right? So when you start to get possessed by the things, that is the problem. So even someone who is very successful, such a person remains humble now, that is true success. So in Sanskrit, when you go to an elder to seek blessings, he will bless you, Vijayi Vinayi Bhava. He will bless you. May you be successful, but may you be humble. Because after success, if there is arrogance that comes, it's a total failure. It's a total failure. So with success, whether it is material success, spiritual success, real success is about maintaining the spirit of humility. In our Sampradaya, 500 years ago, one of our great acharyas, his name was Haridas Thakur. This is a true story. Haridas Thakur was born in a Muslim family. But Haridas had great love for Krishna. Throughout the day, he would keep chanting the holy names of Krishna, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So in Bengal, 500 years ago, Bengal was ruled by Muslims, Nawab Hussain Shah. So these Muslim people caught Haridas and they put him in jail. Because being a Muslim, this fellow is chanting Hindu God's name, they put him in jail. And Haridas in the jail also, he started to preach. And all the prisoners, they started to become devotees. So these Muslim guys, these rulers became very insecure. This fellow is dangerous outside the jail, this fellow is dangerous inside the jail. So they decided to leave him out of the jail. As he was going out, all the prisoners now, they came in because they knew Haridas is a great soul. They fell at his feet and they were seeking blessings. Haridas, please bless us. What blessing they wanted? What blessing they wanted? Exactly. So someone who's in jail, a sadhu comes in the jail, everyone is going and seeking blessings from the sadhu. Because when you're suffering now, you become humble naturally. So they were seeking blessings from Haridas, please bless us. Haridas Thakur blessed them. You know what Haridas Thakur blessed them? He told them, may you remain how you are. May you all remain like this. And the prisoners were so, upset and, they were so feeling bad about this. Haridas Thakur has blessed us like this. Haridas Thakur told them, please understand what I told you. Right now, you all are in a very humble state. You are in a state where you all are seeking shelter of sadhus, saints. My worry is, when you get out of this place, you may just forget everything. My blessing to you is, may you remain like this. May you remain humble. May you remain always in the mood of seeking shelter of others. Kunti Maharani, in our prayers to Lord Krishna, she says a very beautiful verse. She uses the word Tvam Akinchana Gochara. Akinchana means one who is poor. Poverty. One who is poor, who has poverty. So Kunti Maharani is saying, my dear Krishna, who can achieve you? Tvam Akinchana Gochara. Someone who has this poverty mindset can achieve you. What does it mean? It doesn't mean that you have to be a beggar, literally. What it means that you may be very successful, but in your heart of heart, you should feel that, my dear Krishna, I'm just a beggar in front of you seeking your mercy. Such a person who is humble only can achieve Krishna. So this is a very beautiful verse where Arjuna is making this very, very, very important point of telling Krishna that, my dear Krishna, without you, my life is completely useless. Shunyaitam Jagat Sarvam Govinda Virahe Name. So this should be the mood of a devotee. Without Krishna, we should feel that our life is completely useless. Krishna prema vina vyarta daridra jivan dasa kari vetan more deha prema dan. So Chaitanya Charitamrita is a very beautiful verse. It says, without love for Krishna, if we don't have love for Krishna, if in our heart we don't have any affection for Krishna, daridra jivan, vyarta daridra jivan, such a life is useless and poverty stricken. So this devotee is praying, my dear Krishna, please, I am ready to do anything. Please give me a little love for you and little service to you. So this is the mood that Arjuna is teaching all of us. So I think I will stop at this point. Anyone has any thoughts, any questions?
Yeah, when you talk about concentration and spirituality, are you talking about detachment basically? Because what happens in material life is the attachment to the things that are around you, whether it's more maya, as about them.
Yeah.
That's attachment. Get detached, basically, that's the only stage when you can go into spirituality.
Exactly. But you know how detachment comes? Detachment comes by attachment. So there are two things. One is detachment from matter, and the other is attachment to spirit. So generally people's idea of spirituality, most people's idea of spirituality as you said, is detachment from matter. But that detachment from matter will be complete only when you are attached to spirit. If you are not attached to God, how will you detach yourself? Even if you detach yourself, it will be temporary. Again, the allurement will kick in and again you will go back. Right?
That's the most difficult part.
That's the difficult part. So you have, in our scriptures, you have the example of Vishwamitra. You have heard of Vishwamitra Muni? A great saint, a great renunciate. He renounced everything. He was very detached. But because he didn't have the positive attachment to Krishna, the path of bhakti, he slipped away. Again, when Menaka came in his life and Ramba came in his life. But Haridas Thakur, who I was telling about, Haridas Thakur, because he was very attached to Krishna, attached to the absolute, attached to the path of bhakti, there are so many allurements that came in his life, he could remain detached. So detachment becomes perfect only when you get attached to Krishna. Like now, if you have to tell someone is eating like uruka, chapatis and sabji, you have to tell him, give it up. How will he give it up? But in front of him, you put a plate with 56 perfect items cooked. You don't have to tell him, give that up. He will automatically give it up because he got a higher taste. So once you get a higher experience of spirituality in connection with God, the lower tastes automatically drop off. This is what Srila Prabhupada did. We have been discussing about Srila Prabhupada when he went to America. If Prabhupada had to go to the West and Prabhupada had to tell them, detach, give up everything, they would have told Prabhupada, you go back to India. So Prabhupada was dealing with boys and girls who are attached to so many wrong things, sense gratification. Prabhupada didn't act with the philosophy of detachment. Prabhupada gave them positive options. Prabhupada gave them chanting of Hare Krishna. Prabhupada gave them prasad. Prabhupada gave them the philosophy of Gita Bhagavat. So when they got attached to all this, slowly the other things started to fall apart. On its own, it started to fall apart. They started to give up this, they started to give up that, because they were experiencing a higher taste. Does it make sense?
Yeah. Answer the question.
Yeah. Anything else?
I think what I feel, when you teach us, out of 1 hour, if we can just practice 1 or 2 items in a week, and apply them, maybe, it's a great effort.
Yeah.
Even if you pick one sentence and apply it. I love your thing of being humble, the grass is humble. And yesterday we were on the beach and I was telling my maid, देखो सबका respect करना है, कीड़ी का करना है, so it does register, but we have to.
Yeah, what you said is correct. Applying in a week, it may take a lifetime also to apply just one thing. Yeah. So, but the point is very true that the class becomes complete only after application. So in Sanskrit, there are different levels of hearing. The first is Shravanam. What we are doing now is called Shravanam, hearing. After Shravanam is called Mananam, meditating on it. So now the class gets over, we go back, we take some time to reflect. Just like a cow, the cow eats grass and the cow ruminates, it keeps eating, munching again and again. So similarly, what we have heard, keep reflecting on it. Then it becomes more and more digested and gets into the system. Right? This is Mananam. And then there is Nidhi Dhyasanam. Nidhi Dhyasanam is that part of application. So when you apply it, that's when the hearing completes. Hear, meditate, reflect, apply. Then if this process is followed properly, then the reading of Gita, the classes will make a lot of difference. Otherwise, to some extent it will help, but not perfectly.
I think your class
We
last
as
week.
middle age understand detachment and attachment pretty well with all our experiences, and I have a teenager daughter and a 21-year-old. How would you suggest that we inculcate the detachment at this point of life wherein they have to now face the world, they have to be in the competitive world, and yet I want them to be having the humble values that we all are having right now.
I feel if a child becomes a teenager, there's not much parents can do. When the child is small, that's when the parents can do something. Teenage life is already, the child is developed and out of hand basically. But one thing that will definitely help is satsangs. So beyond a certain point, parents can't do much. Connect them to some program or the other. That's where these values will come slowly, it will dawn on them. Otherwise, on their own, it's going to be, definitely you can keep putting those little words, but actually coming to a program, it makes a difference. So if you can just encourage them to that point of making some connection with a satsang or Bhagavad Gita, some book that they can connect to, that's where the change will come.
There's another factor. When children are in their teens and go up to the early 20s, they feel that they know more than the parents.
Yeah,
Anything that you tell them,
they'll do the opposite.
They'll do the opposite.
I was just telling somebody yesterday that they are mistaking the word information and knowledge. They have a cell phone, they have a lot of information, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's not knowledge for them.
Yeah.
I know about it, Mom. Why? Because it's an information on your cell phone. It's not knowledge. You've not understood what the information is.
Correct.
It's a very huge difference between gaining
But-
information and gaining knowledge.
But there is one thing that happens is, in spite of them rejecting whatever you've said, they're observing whatever you do.
Oh, absolutely. I
Yeah.
If that thing can be reflected, even when coming to something,
$1 million point.
that
$1 million
will-
point.
That will deliver the message which you cannot buy. So,
agree.
$1 million point. We keep doing.
21-year-old comes back, she's now in London studying there. She comes back and she tells me, Mom, you taught me all these things, it's not working outside. I'm being hurt. You're
What-
too naive. And I'm not naive. I want you to, like you said, be humble and, but it's difficult for them to adjust where everybody is not like
being
them.
this is what I was trying to say, that you are humble and suppose but sometimes you're being good and sometimes you say I'm tired of being good. I want to be bad.
All we can do is,
Right? I'm seeing it as an
You
adult.
will take that
Right?
path.
So sometimes you feel
You will continue
sometimes
on the
you're
path.
surrounded with
Exactly.
people who are like that.
and become the
Yeah.
better.
So that's why the philosophy of Gita, definitely Arjuna wanted to be good, but the bad people were abusing Arjuna's good. That's what happens.
no, she's asking me when is Kalyug ending?
Oh, there's a lot of time for
Because you
it.
are talking so much about Kalyug hai, beta,
There's
Achha,
a lot
when
of
is it ending? I don't know.
Krishna asked me. Yeah.
Tell me when is
So you
this
tell
Kalyug
me,
ending?
you were saying that,
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's true that in this world, when you're too good, humble, there are a lot of people who will exploit you. That's the second part. We cannot allow that also. So that's why Lord Krishna came in. Yudhishthir actually just wanted to walk out. Krishna told them, nothing doing, you have to fight. You have to fight. So the point is, we'll need to balance it out. We need to balance it out. But even Arjuna, when he was fighting, even though he was killing, fighting, it was from a heart of compassion. You know, it was not from a heart of vengeance that it was coming out. He didn't want to do it, but he had to do it. Right? That was the mood that was coming from. So, you know, humbleness and being good doesn't always mean that, you know, you be like a doormat and allow everyone to step and walk on you. It's not that. You can be definitely assertive to what you want in life, but then you know, the entire mood, the mindset, you know, the principles here that are defining our life should be humility. You know, we may have to deal with it in a practical way, but the principles that define our life are humility, you know, tolerance, and all these principles, compassion. These are the principles that actually govern our life.
But I think in the childhood only children should be inculcated.
Definitely, definitely. That's what I asked. I told her, you know.
Entering the teens, as they become 11, 12, they think they know everything.
They know, yeah.
So I have my 2-year-old child, and she thinks she knows, like, I mean, I have a 2-year-old, right? And she is like, nahin, no, ye mujhe nahi karna. At 2.
Yeah.
I'm shocked, you know. Like, if I can't go that extra, if she doesn't want to eat, she doesn't want to eat. Right? It's zyada extra, I can't make her feel. Like when we were younger, like our mothers could just, you know, but there is a shift in the generation.
Complete.
Right? And nahi, mujhe nahi khana. So I'm like, oh God, you know.
See, that's why.
There is a shift in us as a mother also.
Yeah.
Our mothers would not even bother, nahi khana hai, mat khao. Here we want to pacify, divert their mind, and you know,
Yeah, but
there's
somewhere
a
I
shift
feel
as a mother.
that as mother, we've also evolved because I'm not forcing her then. You know, I feel that okay, if she's hungry, she will come back and tell me that, you know, because now at 2 she says मुझे भूख लगी है. She's not even 2, right? या मुझे कुछ खाने को दे दो, and we get shocked that for like such small kids, they are so expressive and they can really, you know, really express their mind, right? So I wonder what, like once they're 10, 11, 12, what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right?
You're in a beautiful state.
Very true. Children will
dictate
keep you humble.
And you'll be dictated to
That's
by
for sure.
others as well.
When is Kali Yuga ending?
Oh, there is 4,27,000 years to go.
Still?
Yeah.
Oh.
Only 5,000 years are over.
Yeah.
Long way to go.
There is a Mataji here, and she sent me a video of her daughter, who's at the age of 4 has become totally Krishna devotee. So, also very important for you as a mother to do a little bit in front of her,
Yeah.
so that she follows your foot. She will understand
Yes.
what you're
What
doing.
Sir said is a very important point. We keep doing sessions for parents also. We have like a lot of parenting sessions. This is the point. Children will not do what you say, they will do what you do. So you have to be the example. You can't be a preacher in front of children, it's not going to work. So that's why I told you, preaching to children, especially teenagers, is a disaster.
The words you use.
It's not going to work at all.
repeated to you.
Yes. I'm experiencing it as.
So you've got to be careful about what you say and how you say it.
Yeah, she tells me, keep quiet, Mama, because
But
maybe once or
my
twice
friend
I said,
circles
keep
of
quiet.
my age now,
She's
who are
telling
near
me, keep
50,
quiet. Yes.
the parents who have brought them up in a very naive and humble manner, they all are now saying, oh look, my parents, I'm suffering today because they told me not to react to anything. I'm too naive today because of them.
The only difference is if you were not that way, you may have been a worse.
I think really
You know what?
it's a
Yeah,
question
yeah.
of balance. You know, it's easy to say that, but a child or any of us must know how to balance.
Yeah.
That is very important. I mean, I am learning at the age of 72 how to balance.
So
It's
therefore,
not so easy.
coming back to my first point, we'll end at this point. The hope for all of us is satsangs, is the wisdom of Bhagavad Gita. This is actually the hope for all of us in this world. The world of distractions and so many problems in this world. This is the only hope. There's a verse in Bhagavatam, probably we'll end with this verse. It says, Kaler dosha nidhe rajan asti ek mahan gunat kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangha param vrajet. This is like towards the end of conclusive verse of Bhagavatam. Kali Yuga, discussing about Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is an age where unlimited problems. Kaler dosha nide. Nide is ocean. Dosha means faults. Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults, problems, difficulties, negativities. It's an ocean. Unlimited bad things in Kali Yuga. But this verse says, Asti ek mahan gunat. Only one good thing. And what is that? Kirtanadeva Krishnasya. If you take shelter of Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Satsang and all this, Mukta Sangha Paramrajit, you'll be delivered. So this wisdom of Gita, the Satsangs is a great blessing. Only this thing is going to help us individually and it will help us collectively, family, it's going to help everyone. If we somehow can get connected to this now, it's going to make a difference. We have weekly programs that we do for children, and so many children who come for our programs, in just a few months, parents tell us that there is so much change in the children. The child was never used to sitting on the ground, sitting in chair, they are now sitting on the ground. A child that would never eat rice, they have started, so slowly they are starting to learn all these values. So satsangs make a big difference for everyone, even for children. Okay, I will stop at this point. Yeah, I have a program at 7 at Puravaram I have to push.
Oh, in the traffic.
Yeah. Thank you all very much. Hare
So
Krishna.
can I just do the chanting for